Dave, it was a huge effort from everyone in that second half on Tuesday, both physically and mentally. Has it been hard to pick the lads up from that, or is everyone raring to go again this Saturday?
No, of course you're raring to go. Football moves on really quickly. We've said this before, whether you win, draw, lose. So what you have to do is analyse what happened and take the positives out of that. And there are loads of positives. Unfortunately, the positives come with no points on the board. But like I say, you have to take, I suppose, confidence in belief that if over the course of the season that situation happens again, then we know that we can still be in a game and we can learn things from it, like I say, in what is a losing experience.
Added frustration as well with the news that Macca's red card appeal has been rejected, which I suppose is insult to injury, really. It's a difficult decision to understand.
Again, listen, I made my comments after the game. Nothing's changed on that. Throughout football, listen, everyone can make mistakes. I have no issue with that. Everybody's accountable. Players are accountable. Managers are accountable in terms of losing the job if things aren't going well. In my opinion, fortunately, officials aren't, and that backs that up. How you can come back and say there's clear and comprehensive evidence that no elbow's being thrown and there's no contact, but we're not overturning the decision, is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So we now have a player that, listen, I'm not completely advocating Macca in this. He's made the decision that has ultimately resulted in an official having to make a decision. He's pushed a player in the chest, but they've deemed that that's still violent conduct. Well, I suggest if that's violent conduct, then fine. At least everyone knows where that is. If you push someone in the chest, then you're going to be sent off. If that's the consistent message across the board, then so be it. I don't think it will be. But as I say, from our side of things, that's a learning experience, individually, collectively, as a group. And yeah, it is, like I say, it's a double whammy because you now have a player who has a 3-game ban for something that, whether it's right or wrong, happens in every football match. And if you look across the board, there are things going on at every level of the game which are unbelievable in terms of the decisions that people make, and nothing comes as a result of that.
In the bigger picture, obviously, maybe not got the points on the board that you've maybe deserved in the opening 4 games, but must give you confidence when you look at last season, the run you went on after a slow start. When you look at what Mansfield did last season, I think they were in the bottom 2 after 14 games, went on to reach the playoff final, so no need to panic yet, very early days.
No, listen, we're 4 league games into a season, and it shows the fine margins. We've lost or won every game by 1 goal. There's been a single goal in every game. So from our side of things, we could have lost or drawn the games that we won, and we could have won or drawn the games that we lost. So there is fine margins, and we've been really punished for mistakes. Even take away the effort that we made with 10 men, we need to defend that last situation better, and you come out of that with another point on the board. So listen, there's no need to panic. We know we need to get better, and that's a constant. We knew that would be the case anyway. So we look forward to this weekend's game and learning from what we have over the past 3-4 weeks. I'm trying to put that into practice on what is, as you say, a tough place to go on Saturday, because Mansfield put a brilliant run together. I think when they get to the playoffs, you'd fancy that they would be potentially the ones that go up. Wasn't the case. So they're looking to, I suppose, right wrongs from last year themselves.
It's been great to see Connor Jennings back in training this afternoon, particularly on the back of a good performance in the Cup against Harrogate a few weeks ago. Is he back in contention for this weekend?
Yeah, like I said, I was disappointed with Connor. Obviously played in the Harrogate game. There was concerns because when he went down with holding his ankle, we were really concerned. Fortunately, the scan showed some damage, but there was minimal, if any, swelling, which is the big thing with ankles, which meant that he could have a couple of days sort of rehab and was back out on the grass yesterday. So yeah, he comes back into contention for us, which gives us another option, which makes us stronger. So yeah, I'm really positive on that front.
And in terms of the other 2 players that have been missing out, Will Culler and Akil Wright, what's the latest on those 2?
So Will, his 14 days in terms of his concussion is up on Sunday, so he'll start his, I suppose, return to play protocol, which, without going into too much detail, starts with increasing activities to see whether that brings on any symptoms of his concussion. So it really simply starts with we'll start with a bike and do a bike session on Monday. Hopefully no reaction. He'll then work through the week with the hope of, if everything goes well, he'll be back in training with us on Thursday. Akil, we're just waiting for him. He'll have his bloods taken on Thursday, and he got to do a sort of a monitored fitness test, if you like. I think that's going to be on Friday, so fingers crossed there's no adverse reaction to that, and he'll get the sign off next Friday, with the thought process then of being back involved with us in terms of on the grass and competitive and contact training on Monday. But regardless, it doesn't really certainly in Akil's case, doesn't really change his programme. He's got work to do in terms of increasing his load, in terms of distance he covers and all them things. So hopefully it gets all clear and should be in a good place to be back in with the group, which again for him will be great, because he came in on day one, went out of that group, so he's been out of it for a long time in terms of being able to train on the grass. So I know he's really looking forward to that. It'd be great to have him back.
Going back to Mansfield, you mentioned it there, a big test obviously this weekend, scored 5 goals against Wimbledon on Tuesday, but I suppose these are the games we all want to be involved in now, back in the Football League. Yeah,
absolutely. And listen, Tuesday's game, you look at them, 2-0 down on probably 20 minutes, get back into the game 2-2, sending off, changing the game, and they win the game 5-2. On the back of playing against 10 men for 45 minutes, again, a decision that's now been overturned. So they'll come into the game full of confidence, but like I said, although it's easy for us to say we're not going to be full of confidence because we've not got the results we've got to believe in what we've got, and we're going to do all that to try and win. And I truly believe that if we perform and if we cut out the mistakes that we've been making, which is easy to say but more difficult to do, then we have a really good chance of going there and winning. But we know we've got to be at it. We know we've got to be good. We know we've got to deal with their threats and impose what we want to do on the game. Hopefully that'll be the case, and hopefully we can start a run.
And you'll be coming up against a striker that both you and county fans will know all about, of course, in Rhys Oates. Are you looking forward to seeing him again?
Yeah, listen, Oatesy was great for us in the season at Hartlepool. When I took him back there, I'd suggest 90% of Hartlepool fans thought I was mad. And to be fair, the start of the season, he'd missed the previous season through injury, didn't start the season great, but the combination that him and Luke Armstrong had from sort of December onwards was fantastic for us. When he scored, I think probably 15 goals, and was pivotal to us getting promoted back to the Football League when I was at Hartlepool. So we know what he brings, we know his threats. He probably epitomises what this league is in terms of pace and power, and has got his confidence back from scoring goals. Obviously scored a penalty the other night. So we know what that brings. We know what we'll have to deal with. We know that defensively we'll have to be good, and we'll have to defend the space that's in behind us. But that's one of, like I said, a number of threats they have. One player isn't going to make it or doesn't make a team. I hope he has a quiet game. I hope we keep him tied up and he has no opportunities. But as with the case with forward players, any sniff of a chance, then he'll be looking, as we will, to take that and affect the game in a positive manner.
Dave, thanks for your time, and we'll see you Saturday.
Cheers, thank you.